Hey there, I'm Mark from Spectrum Pulse, and today we have from PinkPantheress Heaven Knows. You know, I think I like PinkPantheress a lot more than a lot of folks my age, and especially this year where she saw a proper mainstream breakout. I feel a little bit more surprised by that than I should be. At least on her 2021 project, there was this flighty teenage melodrama that was backed up by songs that were built for TikTok, but I also found there were interesting glimpses of deeper pathos behind the very detached delivery. Flesh out the songs a little bit more, I would be all the way on board, even if months later, I'm still pretty cool on Boy's a Liar, where the energy is never fully coalesced for me outside of Ice Spice's verse. But hey, this feels like the proper, larger scale, mainstream breakout album, with name producers like Greg Kurstin and Muramasa really punching up the production. And really, that's the easiest way to describe this project. It's an amplification of her established formula for the mainstream, tightening up some of the hooks, adding more textural diversity, and the guest stars, where they feel drawn more for some of the names rather than the fit. Kelela might sound gorgeous on Bury Me, but Rema is trying to split an impression somewhere between Destroy Lonely and Travis Scott, and ironically, Destroy Lonely was originally on Bury Me but got taken out for the better, and I gotta admit for Rema it doesn't really work compared to some of his Afrobeat side. At least he's better than Central C, who remains an utterly obnoxious and unlikable presence on Nice to Meet You, even if it was the point, I don't want to hear from this guy. And some of the production choices feel like a play outside of PinkPantheress's faster and more likable garage and breakbeat grooves that fit her vocals more effectively. Now the 2000s era pop R&B with the drums that sound more organic, that can work, but the skittering crunch and clumsily mixed trap pop, that does not. Now granted, thematically, this is an album designed to place PinkPantheress in uncertain territory, half focused on the rise to stardom where she sounds distinctly uncomfortable, and half due to a string of relationships where she might have fallen a little bit too hard for a series of really lousy dudes, and she's got to go through the messy process of extricating herself. It's actually where Boy's a Liar kind of works as a closing track instead of getting tacked on in order to juice the streams for the album placement on the charts. It's the revelation that, frankly, none of these assholes are worth it. And I like that the melodramatic flair is still somewhat here. You don't reference Hamlet on Ophelia or repeatedly utilize death as both a metaphor for falling in and out of love if it's not, but the stakes actually feel higher this time, and the album feels less capricious as a result. There's a level of self-awareness in coming with having to end relationships yourself where you still have feelings, but you know it's not healthy or it's not working, be it through the partner's vices or the desire for her fame, or in the saddest cases where the chemistry is just not there on both ends. And considering she's still a pretty limited vocal presence, the fact that her pop lyricism and delivery can sell that subtler heartache is to her credit in my opinion. Now overall, Heaven Knows feels like a bigger project with more standouts, for better or for worse. A bit of a lateral move compared to her 2021 mixtape, but where I'm gonna blame PinkPantheress less than a lot of her label handlers and the folks around her who aren't quite sure how to properly amplify her formula. The makeover that works in the moment but doesn't quite feel natural is still really quite good, and for a proper major label debut album, I can hear the growth, but this is an album that lives in unease about where PinkPantheress is gonna go in her career and her life going forward. I just really hope she and her team stick the landing long term. She's got the talent. Let's see it happen. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you'd like to like and subscribe, I'd be very grateful, especially if you want to drop comments or share this around. I'm curious, again, where folks will fall on this PinkPantheress album. I get the feeling I like her a lot more than most, which is bizarre given that she had her mainstream breakout this year, but who knows where that ultimately falls. Beyond that, if you guys want to get projects on my schedule before the end of the year, link to my Patreon is right over there. And as always, I'm Mark, you're watching Spectrum Pulse. I'll see you next time.